So welcome back, guys. We're on to part 2 of our mini series about objection handling. Today I want to talk through the objection that those of you that sell on the phone will recognize all too well. Put yourself in the situation where you're phoning up a prospect and you start to introduce yourself and you don't even get halfway through the introduction when your prospect and your potential customer shuts you down very, very quickly and says, yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't got time to talk to you right now. If you listen to the way that people use that objection, they tend to talk very, very quickly and they're rushing you off the phone. The very worst thing that you can do in this situation is to react too quickly, because you'll recognize again all too well the situation where you find yourself getting rushed off the phone, you trip over your own words, you lose all articulation, and you end up hanging up the phone thinking, ugh, that was a really, really bad call. Well, the problem was that you ended up allowing yourself to become rushed off the phone. Best salespeople that manage and deal with objections are those salespeople that don't allow themselves to be rushed off the phone. And that's why in the previous video that I talked about that approach of taking a breath, pausing, empathizing, and allowing yourself to slow the whole process down. When somebody says to you that I haven't got time to talk to you, there's only two reasons that they're going to give you that objection. First of all, they really are too busy and they haven't got time to talk to you. And secondly, and probably the most common, it's nothing to do with the fact that they haven't got time to talk to you. It's just they don't think they want to talk to you right now. So the easiest thing they can do is to try and rush you off the phone. And most salespeople will fall foul of that, allow themselves to get rushed off the phone, and mission accomplished for your prospect. In order to deal with that situation, the best way that I've found in my experience to be able to deal with that and to slow it down is to take your breath and say, okay, Mrs. Customer, I appreciate that you're really busy. In saying that and slowing down that, I'm not going to go, yeah, I understand you're really busy. I'm going to say, okay, I appreciate that you're really busy, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. I'm slowing the process down. And then what I need to do is I need to check, is this really down to the fact that they don't have time to talk to me, or is this just that they don't want to talk to me full stop? Well, in order to test this out, let's just push them a little bit further. So when I've said to my prospect, okay, I completely understand, or I understand that you're really busy, just before I go, can I just ask? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them an open question. We've talked before about open questions. You could ask a question beginning with what or how. They're probably the best thing. You could ask them the question and say, so what is the biggest challenge that you're facing with regards to whatever it is? Or what's the biggest problem that you currently face in regards to this? Now, there's a couple of things I want you to think about with this approach. First of all, is the first phrase that we use is just before I go. That very, very small statement there, just before I go, is really, really important, because what you're telling your customer, your prospect, is you are just about to go. Subconscious mind is really, really clever in that when it hears that phrase, just before I go, it tends to relax, because remember, if the objection is all about just saying, look, I don't want to talk to you, when the salesperson says to you, just before I go, instantly you're going to relax because you're thinking, great, my objection worked. Obviously, what we're not going to do is go straight away, because now what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question. Now, if you think about the question that I asked is, can I just ask? Well, can I, in terms of questioning, is a closed question. Well, closed questions, as we've already said previously, only prompt for a one-word answer. Again, let's think about the subconscious mind. The way the subconscious mind processes this is that when a subconscious mind hears the word can I, it processes it as being a really straightforward and simple question to answer. Well, you've already said you're just about to go. Now all you're going to do is ask a really straightforward, simple question. Why on earth would they just not answer the question just to get rid of you? So you find in this approach is that when you turn around to your customer, you say, okay, I appreciate you're really busy. Just before I go, can I just ask? And you ask them a really good open question. Often what you're going to find is people will engage in a conversation a little bit further without even realizing what they've done. When they answer the question, all you've got to do is think about your next follow-up question in order to engage them in that conversation. Obviously, we need to think about the other side here. If they really don't have time to talk to you right now, when you say to them, okay, I appreciate you're really busy, can I just ask? They're probably going to jump in here and say, no, I've told you I'm too busy. I haven't got time to talk to you. In that context, you then know that they probably are quite busy right now, and it probably isn't the right time to talk to them. So this is when we need to go into arranging a call back. Now remember, when it comes to arranging a call back, we're not going to say to them, well, can I give you a call back on another day, or can I call you back another time? Because that's just going to get us a one-word answer, and probably no. So the best question to ask in this context is, okay, I appreciate that you're really busy. When would be the best time for me to give you a call just to take this conversation further? Thinking about slowing down the way that you approach this situation is really, really key. But remember the approach of saying to your customer, just before I go, can I just ask, and think about what is that killer question going to be that you're going to hope is going to engage them in the conversation further.